Guys, welcome to today's video. My name is Pahua and I'll be showing you guys how to do this soft sculpted, soft defined face and eyes. Okay, this is usually targeted for people who have monolids, smaller eyes in general, or like eyelids where I have lids but they're not really lids and they're not really hooded eyes, so it's complicated. But anyways, this tutorial will help you guys on how to get that soft sculpted defined eye and face without doing too much and not being too dramatic. So if you guys want to see how to get this face and eyes, this soft defined look, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe so you can see my next videos. Okay, follow me on my Instagram and TikTok, and let's just get right into the video. Let's go. Alright, we are starting off with just foundation, concealer, bronzer, blush, and brows. But I have to set my face before I do the eyes, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. So I set my face using the One Size Translucent Loose Powder. This is just to set my face. I'm not gonna be done setting the whole entire face yet, but just for right now so I can do the eyes, this is what we're gonna be working with. And so let's move on to the eyes. I'm going to conceal first. So when I like doing a soft sculpted, soft matte look, I usually go for a concealer that is my shade or a shade lighter. It just blends out together looking so seamlessly. And for today's video, I'll be using the Alley Oop Game Face Second Skin Concealer. It just dropped and I'm super excited to show you guys. It is so creamy and it gives you this like beautiful creaseless look. Let me just show you. It comes with like a dofer like this. If I can focus, it's not gonna focus, but you guys can look at my Instagram when I do upload it. But anyways, it's a nice dofer that allows like enough product where it's just not too little and not too much. Also, they have a sponge on the tip. Let me show you right here where you can blend it out, but today I'm not gonna be using that. But anyways, back to the tutorial. I'll be using this to conceal my eyes as a primer. After I have concealed and primed my eyes with concealer, I just use any face palette and use a light shade to use it to set my eyes. I'm going with the Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics and I'm using shade Coconut, I believe. And I'm just going to set my eyes all over because I prefer a matte base to work with. I cannot blend on top of wet products, so this is just what works for me. Alright, after I set my eyes, and just to let you know, today's brows are just, they do not want to cooperate with me, and I can't make it work for the life of me, so please ignore how blocky and dark they are. It's just a bad brow day. But anyways, so for a soft sculpted look, I love going in with a bronzer. And as someone who has monolids or like uneven eyes or just Asian eyes, it's very hard to find where our natural creases are, as we don't have creases, but we do have some shapes and areas that are more hollow and more prominent. So I take my Kiko Milano bronzer and I usually bronze right between my brow bone. I don't know what it's called, but it just makes the look complete. So I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna tap it into the palette or the bronzer, and I just take a big fluffy brush like this. I love using this as my nose contour brush. It's just very fluffy and smooth. So I take this, and right where your eyebrows meet, that is where I sculpt my eyes. And this is the area where I want it to look like it's a little bit more hollow, a little bit more sculpted, almost as it's in my face, because my brow bone right here is not as prominent. So this just helps me give the illusion of a more hollow look right here. And I know it looks really harsh right now, but trust the process, okay? So for the second step, I take the same bronzer, tapping it again, and this is where I like to see a little bit more prominent areas to be featured. So I take this part where it's like a V shape. Let me just zoom in a little bit closer, and I'm just gonna go in and blend this onto that area, onto the outer corner. This is where I want my eyes to look like it has a little bit more shape. This really helps out with that. And don't worry about being clean. We're all gonna go back and blending it out seamlessly. So just apply it where I am showing you right now. This is just gonna work in the end, okay? All right, so this is one eye with the outer corner and one eye without. As you can see, this corner has a little more shape, adds a little bit more color, and this is really gonna help in giving that soft sculpted look. And then I'm gonna do to the other side. Okay, now that we have the shadows placed, take the same brush but with no excess powder. Just go in and start blending it like crazy, making sure that it just blends into the skin, looking like it's part of your actual contours. As you can see, I'm going back and forth like windshield wiper motions, and I'm just going to go literally in the front part of my brows and making sure that I can just blend it into filth, okay? Because we want this to look so seamlessly that it looks natural. Not really, but you know what I mean. And then after we have everything blended out, those only two parts that are blended out after they just look like part of your face, I go in with the Master Mask by Makeup by Mario, and mine is so dirty, yikes. Anyways, I take this shade right here, this orangey brown, and this was for my skin tone. So if you have a lighter or darker skin tone, make sure to use shades that are more, you know, complementary to your natural contours. So I just take this with a clean brush from Sigma, the Diffuse Crease E38, and tapping it off, and I go back into the same areas, but I'm just deepening the color to make sure that there is a contour there. So as you can see, I'm very lightly going in the same areas I did before, windshield wiper movements, and this is just gonna deepen it out. I'm using a very light motions. As you can see, my hand is far away from the brush, so I like to go for the middle part where I have a little bit of, you know, pressure, but not too much pressure where it's gonna stamp on the color. A soft sculpted look is gonna take a lot of layering, a lot of blending, going back and forth. So take your time doing this, but don't be afraid of packing the color on, because these shades are very not so natural, but they're close to your skin tone that it will blend out if you do, you know, stamp it on. And as you can see, I'm dragging the deeper shade across my eyelid. Now I'm going into the center part of my eyes, but I'm not going all the way to the out because I don't want it to look like a cut crease. We want it to make it look as soft and diffused as we can. All right, now we can see a difference in our eyes. This one looks like it has a deeper sunken in eye, while this one is still more prominent. It still looks a little puffy because I have monolids. So let's go on and do the other eye. Let me zoom in so you guys can see the actual work. Sorry. All right, I've zoomed you guys in much closer so you guys can have a deeper, closer look. So I go back again with the warm dark shade, and I'm going back in the areas where I use the shadow for my inner brows, and I'm darkening it again, and I'm going into the middle part of my eyes to give it a more shape and eye look. And if you have any harsh lines, you can just go back to the same brush that we used the first shade and blend it all out. No worries, because everything will blend out in the end. Why I love doing this type of look on my eyes is that when I want my eyes to look a little bit more, you know, sultry, a little sculpted, a little bit more open, this really helps without doing a cut crease. Because if I do a cut crease, it's super dramatic on my eyes. Because as you can see, I don't have much lid space. I have, you know, this entire space to fill up, but as you can see, my lid is very tiny, so I would have to go over it, making it look more open. And with that, it just looks dramatic, and on some days I just don't prefer that. This is my preferred way of giving my eyes that sculpted look without doing too much. Even though we might be sitting here for 40 minutes, let's be real. And now we're going back into the same shade again, and now we're going to the outer corners. And this is something very, very simple, but that just works. Taking your eyeshadow brush, go in and blend back and forth. We're not gonna pull it up, we're not gonna pull it side to side. We're just gonna go where our natural crease is, right here. And I hit my eye. And we're gonna go back into the crease like this, but we're not going all the way. We're just gonna leave it at the outer corner. Blending it in again. Don't be afraid to go in. This is just really gonna be easy to help blend out together. All right. This is one eye with the shade on the outer corner and one eye without. As you can see, this has more depth right here and right here, making this part look more open and prominent, and that's exactly what we want. And I'm just gonna do this off camera real quick so we can go on to the next step. All right, I did the other eye, and this is what we have right now. As you can see, it has a little bit more shape, a little bit more definition, but it's not too much. This is perfect, literally. this is what I do every day. Then I just, you know, like to touch up, I just go back with the same brush with nothing on and just blending it, making sure everything is seamless, blends right into the brow bones, into the eyebrows, and into the nose contour, which we will be doing in a bit. Now that we have our shades to define our eyes, we need something to contrast from that, and which is highlight. So I just go back into the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm gonna take this shade and mix it with this shade to get like a skin tone brightening shade for me. And I just take it with a flat top brush. I think this is from Amazon. It's really good. And I just go in, packing it on, and I'm gonna pack it where I want a little bit more definition to pop out. Okay, this is not to give us more shadows. This is gonna be our highlight. So I take it right here and I just start blending it, tapping it into the lid. If you go against the eyes, that's gonna give you a more harsh look. So I like to go in, tapping it in, diffusing it as I go. And you can go as high as you want with this. I like to take it pretty high, so I want a more open eye. So I can almost take it all the way very, very close to where our first shadow was. And I'm just gonna tapping it in again. And don't be worried about being clean about this, because we'll go back and blending it out with our first brush. And then what's really important about this, if you have these type of inner lids like I do, that I don't have a lid, like it's not open, I take the exact same highlighting powders, and I'm gonna drag my highlighting areas down here where it looks like a rainbow, basically. This is just really gonna help open your eyes. I like that look. So this is the eye without the powder. It's very, you know, simple. It's you can still do this, but this is just gonna really enhance the look. Like I said, we're gonna go back to our bronzer brush, just with nothing, blending it all together to get no harsh lines. And as you can see, it just blends right in. It's gonna look more, a little bit more natural. There's no harsh lines. And that is a simple sculpted eye look you can do right now. This is what I usually do. I just pop on some lashes and there I go. As I have monolids, as you can see, I don't like using too much black because it can almost close my eyes. So, and I want it to look more open and awake, so I don't do that. If I wanted to, I would just go with a very thin black line and that's it. But I'm gonna go apply lashes and then we'll be back to do the face. So for this type of look, you can actually wear all types of lashes. If you want to enhance your outer corner, wear a more cat eye flared look. If you want a more open look, go for lashes that are more longer in the middle areas. This is perfect for any type of lashes. And for today, lashes I'll be using are Lily lashes. They're the magnetic type. They're Cause We Can. So I'm just gonna apply this real quick. Alright, lashes are on. Let's go and sculpt our face. For this part of the video, I'm also going to keep you close up so you can see my features a little bit more clearly. It's a circle, but we're going to make it look like a Photoshop egg. Okay, so I just take the same bronzer, as because if we were looking for a soft sculpted look, we want the colors to be in unison, something similar, you know, almost monochromatic. So I take it with this big fluffy brush from Bobbi Brown. It is the powder brush and I love this brush. Okay, and I just take this and I'm just lightly going up on my cheekbones. As you can see, I'm placing it up above my actual cheekbone, so more of the powder is going to go on top instead of the bottom of the cheekbone. So as you can see, this is just what is going to give us a more sculpted, defined look. And since we have the shadow placed, now we can go back in and start building it up, going back and forth. I think bronzer plays a big part in a soft sculpted look, because you can have soft sculpted eyes like this, but if you don't have a soft sculpted, you know, technique, it can look a little bit unbalanced. But with this technique, everything will look more seamlessly together. And like, as you can see, the shadow is there. You can see it more prominent from this side, but because we don't want to see this harsh line, don't worry about it. We'll go back into it. Just leave it like that, and we're gonna go and bronze the other side. So as you can see, I bronzed both sides. So trust me, in the camera it looks like this one is darker because there's no light on this side, so it's gonna look a little bit darker, but they are the same. And as you can see, two bronzed cheeks. Don't forget the forehead and the nose and the jaws. So let's go and do that. For the jaw, I like to go very lightly because I get it, we want a strong jawline. Who doesn't? I like that look. I like a sharp jawline that can cut you, okay? But I like to eat a lot, so I just don't have that. But if you go too harsh, it can look a little bit more fake, and we don't want that in a soft sculpted look. So take what's ever left on your brush and blending it very, very gently, and just go back and forth, like, and I'm touching my ears because I want everything to just, you know, connect. This is gonna give us the most softest contour for our jaws, and it's still gonna give you that sharp jawline. This side and this side, as you can see, yeah. Go back and forth, back to the ears, back to the chin. This is just gonna give it more unison look. And then for my forehead, I just tap, tap, tap so gently. Tap, tap, tap off, and I like to stamp it on. For some reason, I think my forehead does not like it when I swipe, so tapping just gives it a more airbrush look. It's gonna be more softer for the brow, I mean for the face. Who doesn't love a bronze forehead? Like, that is like one of my favorite steps in doing makeup, is a bronze forehead. I don't know why. I just love how it looks. Maybe because my forehead is like the cleanest part of my face, where there's like no acne, no moles. It's just very, very fine to just see the color just shade into it. I love it. All right, not everything is blended and everything looks soft and sculpted. Let's move on to highlighting. When I say highlighting, I'm not talking about a glow. I'm not talking about that, because we added those shadows. We want something to contrast from it, just like we did on the eyes. And so we're doing that. I'm going to take two face powders from Juvia's Place. These are their newest ones. They're the I Am Magic powder foundations. I got Madrid and I got Cairo. Madrid is a lot lighter, so I like to use that under my eyes. And Cairo is a great face powder, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to show you the best way to do it. For soft sculpted looks, they usually don't have a shine. They have like this ambience, illusion, illuminous, you know what I'm talking about, right? So instead of using a sponge like a lot of other people do, take a brush that's like soft but like dense, but it's still fluffy, right? Taking a Madrid, I'm gonna douse my powder into it, right? And without tapping it off, I take it and I'm gonna stamp it right where I want my highlighted areas to be, just like how I did with the eyes. You see what I'm going with? Okay. So this is just gonna help bring out those areas. Like, I want a little bit more brightness right here in my chin, so this is what's gonna help out a lot. And when you're doing this, you can also go against the nose to make a reverse contour. That's exactly what I do all the time. What I really love about these powders is that they give you this like smoothing look that looks like you have an in real life filter. So great. It doesn't feel heavy, and as you can see, it gives my skin like this, like as you can see from the difference, right? You can see how smooth this part is, and then you can still see a little bit more texture down here. That's what I love about these powders. They're so good. And then with the highlighted areas, I take the darker shade in Cairo and I go under my contour just so I can get a little bit more defined contour shape, but we're not doing too much because this is still like my foundation shade, so just gonna be a little bit more on the cleaning side. We're not gonna take away anything, and like I said, don't go over your contours, just go under, and if you want to, go on top to blend the highlighted areas together. And as you can see, we just look more smooth, a little bit more soft. The area's a little bit more softly sculpted, and that's exactly what we want. And now for blush, I think blush is like a personal choice for someone. If you like a luminous glowy look, go and get that. If you like a soft matte, you know, look, go and get that. So I definitely feel like this part of the tutorial, do whatever makes you happy. I'm gonna go in with the One Size Cheek Clapper and Vary That, and I'm gonna take the shade Seeking Jen. It is like this peach corally shade. It's so gorgeous. So I take some, as you can see, it's very pigmented, tap it off, and then I like to go where I put my contour, but just a little bit higher to give my face a little more uplifting look. That's one side of blush and one side without. Like, I don't know how I could live a day without blush. Like, how was I able to survive back in the days? Tell me. While I was doing my blush, I was looking at myself and I realized I have not done my nose contour. So let me just do that real quick. All right, now that we have the blush applied and my nose contour back on, this step just blends everything together. Now we're not taking a face powder. No, we're gonna take the same bronzer we did, and we're gonna go all over the places where we add the blush and bronzer, so we can just meld it all together. This time we're taking much less, okay? And we're just gonna brush it away, almost like you're brushing away baking, but not really, because there's no baking. This is just gonna meld those colors together to get a more softer gradient. And as you can see, it is very much giving, okay? And we're done. Basically done with the whole entire base. All we have left to do is our lips, and since I already have it here, let's just do them together. So I take a sponge and make sure my lip is like one color, and this almost like primes our lips. Now here's a lip combo that I found on Instagram, and I uploaded my video on TikTok, and so many of my friends were like, girl, why have you not even heard about that? So they are the ColourPop BFF3 Lippy Pencil, and I got the NYX Suede Dainty Days Lip. Okay, these two perfect combos. I'm just gonna show you real quick, okay, because you might need them after this video. This ColourPop lip pencil is so creamy, so pigmented, and I was sleeping on them. Like, what the heck? How come no one told me? I'm pretty sure someone told me. I like to overline my bottom and top lips so I can get a more juicy look, okay? As you can see, BFF3 is like the perfect like in-between neutral shade of brown. I love this shade so much. Like, perfect, up my freaking alley. But anyways, I'm gonna blend it out with my hands, and we're just gonna blur the lines a little bit because I don't want any harsh lines. And then we're going in with the NYX one, right? It's a matte suede, so it looks matte but it doesn't dry matte, which I typically don't like, but for this lip combo I'm willing to give up something. Okay, look. This lip combo is the dream of lip combos, okay? Your lip combos, this is a lip combo. All right, you can keep it matte or glossy. I've been loving gloss, but I think a matte looks pretty good with this look. So let me just put on some setting spray and then we can talk about the final look. All right, that is my video on how I get a soft sculpted look for monolids or Asian eyes, and how I do my soft sculpted contours and face base, okay? And look at the results. It's smooth, it's flawless, and it gives you this contoured face without being too harsh or too dramatic, if you know what I mean. You know, it's still that I'm wearing makeup, but it's not as much, and I love this look. I wear this all the time. If I'm going out for getting groceries, getting gas, going on a date, going to the mall, this is what I would typically wear because this just enhances my natural contours or adding contours where I usually don't have it, okay? And this is a really great look for my Asian girls out there who have monolids, or just anybody who has like smaller eyes in general. This is a really great tutorial on how to open and give your eyes that contoured eye look that a lot of double eyes usually have. You know, I wish I could do that, but I can't, so this is what I had to stick with, okay? But anyways, it always works in the end, so isn't that good? Okay, and so I will leave all the products I use down below in my link, okay? Or you can find it on Instagram. I usually have a lot of things tagged, and don't forget to follow me on my TikTok, okay? I'll also leave it down below too. And thank you for watching, guys. If you like what you guys saw, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.